So I want to tell you the story of the luckiest thing that ever happened to me. It was 2004, and I was living in a small college town in the Midwest. I was a student there, and I was staying there for the summer, so the town was kind of deserted. And I'd just been through a really bad breakup with a classmate, and so I was super depressed, just hanging around my crappy student apartment, listening to a bunch of Coldplay, being sad. It was 2004. My roommate came up to me and said, "Look, you're going to have fun tonight. The rest of the summer you can be sad, but tonight you're going to have fun. We're going to the club. It's old school night. And it's gonna be great." But I wasn't really into it, and so key to the story, I didn't change. I was just wearing the stuff that I was wearing that day to the club. So I wore a t-shirt and cargo shorts, and importantly, Teva sandals, right? These are the wraparound sandals, right? The sandals that wrap around your ankles. So I wore that to the club. And so I'm at the club. It's old school night. They're playing Stevie Wonder, playing Prince. I have one drink. I will say that, one drink. And I'm out there dancing to Michael Jackson's Smooth Criminal, right? So imagine that song. And I go to do a dance move, not like a crazy dance move, I'm not a good dancer, but like a dance move where I step backward, and something goes wrong. My foot comes down the wrong way. So whereas like ordinarily your foot would come down like this, my foot came down more like that, right? And so if I were wearing normal shoes, then I'd probably just roll my ankle. But not in Teva wraparound sandals, right? My foot comes down like that, the sandal is like that, and my whole body weight comes down on the outside of my right foot. So outside of right foot is a bone that I learned later. It was called the fifth metatarsal. And I heard that fifth metatarsal break over the music. And I was like, that's not good. So I hobble off to the bathroom while Michael Jackson is singing about whether or not Annie is okay. And I'm like, I'm not okay, Michael Jackson. I think I hurt myself pretty bad. My friends, of course, thought it was hilarious. So I get home that night, I hobble home, and I think, okay, when I wake up in the morning, this will all be better. It was not better. I woke up in the morning, and my foot was about twice the size than it was ordinarily. And I said, that's not good. I need to go to the student health center and get this fixed. So I go to the student health center. It's a little tough to drive, right? It was my right foot. But I get there, and a student health center at a small college town in the Midwest in the summer is a weird place because there's no students, right? So it's totally empty. And if you come in, there's no wait, but if you come in with a freak injury like mine, it is showtime. The people there were completely delighted to see me. Starting with the intake person hears my story and says, "Oh, you were at the club?" I said, "Yeah, I was at the club." He's like, "Was it bumping?" And I said, "I don't know what that has to do with anything, but no." And he says, "Yeah, man, that's great. If it's not bumping, that's good for you, because like if it's bumping, there's probably a lot of like handsome football player guys, and then like nobody wants to talk to any of us, right?" And I was like, I feel like you just made fun of me, but I don't really want to like go down that road because I think I broke my foot and I really need to like get x-rays. He's like, "Oh yeah, go get x-rays." So he writes on my intake sheet, right, "hurt foot dancing." So every medical professional I talk to for the rest of the day sees that, and nobody is like, "Hello, I'm Dr. Jones." Nobody's like, "Hello, Mr. Murphy, how are you doing?" No, they're all like, "You were dancing? Like, what is this?" So the radiology tech is like, "Wait a minute, what kind of dancing were you doing?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, it was old school night, like Michael Jackson's Smooth Criminal." And she's like, "Oh, was it like a shaman?" And I was like, "No, I wasn't trying to do a shaman. I was just doing a normal dance step." She's like, "Oh, well, you need to talk to the radiologist." The radiologist comes in, she's like, "Whoa, is it the Watusi?" I was like, "I don't even know what that dance is." It's Michael Jackson's Smooth Criminal. And she says, "Oh," and she says, "Oh," in a way that you don't want a radiologist to say, "Oh," looking at an x-ray of your body, right? I said, "Oh, is that bad?" And she says, "Well, you're not going to be dancing for a while. You can talk to the doctor." So the doctor comes in and he says, "So, I've heard you busted a move." I really thought that one was really funny. And I was like, "Oh, man, I guess." And he's like, "Well, you need to talk to my friend Bruce. Luckily, Bruce is here today. He's not usually here." I was like, "Well, who's Bruce?" She's like, "Well, Bruce is the orthopedic surgeon." I was like, "Oh, neat. Let's talk to Bruce." Bruce was also the orthopedic guy for the football team. This was a football school. And so Bruce comes in, and once again, he's like, "So, yeah, looks like you're our dancer." That's neat. And his bedside manner was very much a football doctor's kind of bedside manner. he was like, oh man, he's like, your foot is just gnarly. He's like, look at this, like, see this? That shouldn't be there, that should be over there. And I was like, well, that's bad, right? He's like, well, that's what you get for breakdancing. And it took me like weeks to realize that was actually a pretty good one. And so he's like, look, he's like, I would love nothing better than to open you right up and just give you a robot foot, right? And then you'd be back out on the field in a week. I am not a football player. But I was like, but he's like, but your insurance won't pay for it, so I'm gonna do the next best thing. I was like, okay, next best thing to a week, what's that? He said 4 to 6 weeks in a non-weight-bearing plaster cast. I was like, doesn't sound just as good. He's like, well, the good part is you can't walk for about a month and a half, so it's really gonna work your triceps. So like you're gonna get really good on crutches, and that's gonna really work your muscles here. I didn't think that was really great. So I somehow got home. It was hard to drive with a cast. I crutched up to my 3rd floor walk-up apartment, and I'm back on the same couch I was the day before, and my roommate comes over and he says, so that didn't work out the way you thought it would. I said, it did not. He said, but this is like, you're gonna make the best of it. This is what you gotta do. You gotta reach out to your friends and say, like, look, I need your help. Like, if you wanna go do something, you should still go do it, right? Just ask for help. And I said, you know what, you're right, I'm gonna do that. There's a student organization meeting in a town, the next town over, it's off campus. I was gonna drive to it, I can't drive. So I'll send an email to the student organization, like listserv, that says, hey, like, I need a ride. So I drafted and I didn't know what to say. I was like, hello, I've broken my foot dancing to Michael Jackson. Therefore, I cannot drive to the meeting next week. If someone wants to give me a ride, I'll tell you the whole story and I'll pay for gas. And I got an email back from a classmate who said, sure, I didn't know, who said, sure, I'll pick you up, I'm passing through town, I want to hear that story, that sounds hilarious. So the classmate picks me up, we go to the meeting, on the way back from the meeting, we get stuck in traffic, and that was how I met my wife, Megan. And we've been married for 10 years next month. And so that is the story of the luckiest thing that's ever happened to me. Thank you.